Okay, we are live. It is Sunday night, and let's see. I need you guys to give me a thumbs up here and let me know if you can hear me okay. I have a little bit of an unconventional setup here. So I don't have heat at my house. So that was fun. And it is 30 degrees outside. And I'm at my brother's. So I came here and the internet is not as stable as I would like. And I can't stream from my computer. So I'm on my phone. So hopefully you guys can see me, can hear me, and let's no idea what is happening. Oh my gosh. Okay. Anyway, so if you're here, please hit that thumbs up button for me and share this out. I appreciate it. We're going to talk a little bit about we're talking about hormones again, and we're talking about the gut again. And the reason that's so important is because I am getting so many requests for people. They're wanting to know if they should go on hormone replacement therapy. Hey, Chris, how are you? Nice to see you, my friend. And one of the biggest things with anything that I teach is that we never want to think that we can out supplement or out medicate a poor diet and lifestyle. So really, if you're somebody who's thinking my hormones are completely out of whack, should I go get my hormones evaluated? You could, you absolutely could. Hey, Bill, welcome in on this beautiful Sunday. And so this is really about where can we start in the process of getting your health optimized. Um, and so a lot of people really they just they want to think too many steps ahead because hey, it's hard. I get it, right? Hey, Kenny, how are you? Yes, Kenny, you need your hormones evaluated for sure. And so so this also, this definitely goes for men and women. And I am just going to say I see six people watching and there's only one thumbs up button, and that one I think is mine. So make sure you hit that thumbs up button for me, please. I appreciate it. And I see Chris gave me a heart from over on Facebook. So thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate that. And hope all is well with you and Sandy. Please give her my love. And okay, great. So this is, like I said, I'm looking at my notes on my computer. I'm trying to look at my camera on my phone. Oh my God. Okay. Thumbs up, please, if you can hear me okay. Hopefully this will all go well. I just pre-recorded Reset Monday and it buffered the whole time. I don't have a video. I spent 15 minutes doing a video and then I went back and I watched it and it's skippy and unbuffered. It's horrible. So I have nothing for tomorrow. I don't and I hesitate to go back and do another one. I guess I could do it on the phone. Kind of, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. So stress is another marker of our hormonal health. Hey, Ken, welcome in. Nice to see you, my friend. And okay, so when I did not move, Kenny, I my furnace went out again. This would be the third or fourth igniter that has gone bad in a few weeks, and Train won't fix it. So the dealer is like, "Yeah, you need a new, it's $100 part, but somehow we need a new $7,000 furnace." So I didn't have them come and fix it today, and I'm at my brother's, and I am gonna hang out here for the night, and then hopefully, I don't know. Fingers crossed, I won't have to spend the money on a new furnace because that is not what I really want to do right now. So, and yes, Bill, only so much time to go around. I know, and then it gets frustrating too when you're like, I just did the work and I don't really want to do it again. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see and I haven't eaten dinner. So it's all the things. It's all the things. I know, Getty. So, all right. So let's go back into why I really want to have this conversation today. because I think that too many people are reaching for the easy way out, whether it's hormone replacement therapy, a medication, a weight loss drug, and not putting the lens on the things that matter, the things that, just because you take a medication doesn't mean that you've taken care of why did you get to that place to begin with. So what do you need to do to really start to move the needle and understand that, time's going to go by anyway. So let's say you go on hormone replacement therapy or a weight loss drug or um a thyroid medication or I don't know, just name it. It could be anything. But let's then say you still have issues with metabolic syndrome. You're dealing with blood sugar handling, leaky gut, which we're going to talk about leaky gut and how that affects the hormones. Maybe you're just not hydrated enough. We've talked about that multiple times and how um, people just aren't hydrating. They just are not taking the time to drink enough water, and we're drinking too many other things and having too much toxic food in our diets, and then making excuses for it. So, really, just I feel like we can't hear this message enough about what do we do about it. What are the simplest ways we can move through this and start to look at which lifestyle factors you need to look at because everybody's going to start different, right? Everybody's in a little different spot. And started GoFundMe. That I would appreciate that, Kenny. Let's just say there's a lot of stuff going on. Um, so so yeah, there's a multitude of things. And I was at an event a couple of weeks ago, and I take my air one of my AirPods out. So my brother's gonna walk in at any time, and he's gonna be like, "Do you have to be yelling?" He's gonna yell that I'm talking loudly, but his house is very echoey. So also I hope there's no echo here. Um, so the reason that I wanted to bring this up is because, like I say, there's so many people who are like, I need to do this. My hormones are going crazy. I don't feel good. I've got brain fog. I don't have any libido. I'm not pooping every day. I'm not sleeping well. Like whatever the thing is for you, and then but then you go and like I have people that I work with who people who come to get nutritional help, and they take fiber supplements every day, and that's not that's not a solution. If you're taking fiber supplements every single day, that means something's wrong. Like you've got to we got to figure out why your gut isn't working properly. So just moving things through your gut, if you're taking a fiber supplement, does not solve the problem, and it doesn't heal the gut. And if the gut's not healed, you're not going to absorb your nutrients. So typically what will happen is people will say, well, I take a fiber supplement, otherwise I don't go, which is okay. I would prefer that stuff moving out because otherwise it's going to reabsorb into the bloodstream. When that happens, we get a breach in the gut lining called the tight junctions. And so when that happens, we start to absorb food particles and toxins and bacteria, and it causes inflammation, which then drives all chronic disease. So this is where then that is going to affect your hormones. So your hormones are so far downstream to, or whatever is being affected in your hormones, so far downstream. Sleep hormones, melatonin and cortisol, those are hormones. So we have to recognize that everything that we do from the time we wake up until the time we go to bed, we are driven by hormones. So start thinking about it like that, and that if you have any type of health concern at all, you have leaky gut until proven otherwise. So we have to always look to the gut. And if we can heal the gut, we can then start to heal a multitude of other things. So so I was at an event, and Kenny, you are so funny. I have missed you, my friend. The lives have not been the same without you. So I was at an event a few weeks ago, and I ran into a friend of mine who is a medical doctor. It was interesting because I was talking with her and another woman there who's not in healthcare, but just does. studies on her own, has done her own research as far as like health and wellness. Like she's in like tech or something, but she's done a lot to, try to heal herself and her own health. So she's one of those people, like, she knows a lot of stuff because she's had to in order to heal her body. So God bless her on that one. But the three of us were having this conversation about chronic disease and where it's all coming from. And the one person, that the medical doctor, she says, she's like, well, I said, well, you've got to heal the gut. She says, no, it's from sugar. It's all sugar. And then the other girl said, no, it's from the toxins in our air. And the two of them started arguing about, was it sugar or was it from the toxins? And I was sort of left out of they were just like dit, 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 like I couldn't get a word in edgewise. And and sorry, I should put it on airplane mode because a phone call just came. No, don't answer it. So Kenny says, well, if it's sugar, it's going into your gut. So, okay, so let me explain. So here's the problem is both statements are true. All statements are true. But so when I say go upstream, so what you have to then consider is, okay, my hormones are out of whack. Okay, then why? Oh, okay, because I have a poor diet. Okay, why? Okay, why? So the question of why takes you further and further to what's called the root cause. So, yes, if you are somebody who has too much sugar in your diet, too much processed food, those are chemicals, that is absolutely going to cause leaky gut. If you're somebody who's been exposed to other chemicals, so um, um, Bill's a farmer, right? So a lot of chemicals that can be used on the farm can get into the system and stay there. And no matter how much you detox, they can wreak havoc and cause diseases if you're not careful, how you apply them. So so there's a multitude of different things. I know people who have a really clean diet and then were diagnosed with cancer, and then we tested them and they were toxic in glyphosate, which is Roundup. And so Roundup, and then this person said, well, I hadn't used Roundup in 30 years. That's how these forever chemicals work, is that when you utilize them, they get stuck in your body and they wreak havoc over time until finally they flip the switch of chronic disease, including cancer. So it's not any one thing. So, but I thought it was really interesting because when you listen to information out there, and that's why I really try to distill this for you, and I try to just say, I'm going to give you information so that then you can figure out, where is it right for you to start? Do you have a poor diet? Do you have a great diet? Are you somebody who has dealt with chronic health issues and you're really just trying to optimize where you're at? Hey, Dr. Jen, long time no see. Nice to see you here, my friend. So everybody's going to have a different starting point. If you've had chemical exposure, if you've had mold exposure, there's so the bottom line is, it's not that clear cut. We can't just say it's one thing. Now, if we say you have leaky gut, there's an issue with the gut, then we have to say, like, that's a blanket statement we can make. Okay, but what's going on in the gut? Again, is it mold? Is it yeast? Is it small intestinal bacterial overgrowth? Is it, do you have a fungal infection? Do you have H. pylori? So there's now another multitude of things that then we can test for to determine what is happening. So, I talk a lot about doing testing, functional medicine testing, and that is really effective. So I like to say, don't guess, test. And that is definitely true for a lot of people who have dealt with chronic health issues for many, many years. And I will tell them, listen, I don't want to be, and they've been through doctor after doctor. Some have been to functional medicine doctors like myself, but then, they'll come to me and they'll tell me their history. And I'll say, I don't want to just do the same thing. I don't want to guess at it. Everybody you've told me so far, because then I'll say, has anybody done this kind of test and that kind of test? So I start looking at what kinds of strategies we can build around that. And, they'll say, well, no. Okay, well, I'm not going to then do the same thing that they just did. So that's where testing comes in really handy, is that if we can take the testing and then again go as far upstream as we can, figure out where is the root cause. How do we get to sorry, just looking for my live chat. There it is. um, how do we get to the root cause, and how do we get to healing and optimize you? Um, and some people, maybe it is sugar. Some people, maybe it's a detox. Some people I might have to send for IV chelation therapy, or um, ozone therapy, or infrared sauna. Like, I mean, it can run the gamut. So this is why I just caution you when somebody's saying it's this one thing that's causing it. That's part of it. You're getting part of the story. You're not getting all of the story. So, um, so keep that in mind, and especially for you. And if you're somebody who has been searching and searching and searching, and you can't find the answers, ask yourself, have you done any kind of testing? And then what kind of testing have you done? And have you done specific strategic functional medicine testing? So a really good way to think about testing is, people will say, oh, I was tested for food allergies. And I'll say, okay, how were you tested? And they go, oh, they did the scratch test. So they do scratch your back with different allergens, and depending on what turns red and what doesn't, then you have an effect. That is called a, thank you, Jen, for sharing to Facebook. I appreciate it, my friend. And make sure you hit the thumbs up button for me, please. So, so the scratch test is called so these are antibody tests, and that the antibodies are proteins in your immune system. And the scratch test tests for immunoglobulin IgA, which is an immediate response allergen. And so what that means is this is where you walk into the cafeteria with a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and the kid is allergic to it. Or you eat something and you get a scratchy throat or a runny nose. That's really common for people. They'll eat something and they're like, oh, every time I eat, I don't know, pizza, I get a runny nose. Well, maybe you're allergic to dairy or anything that could be in the pizza. Maybe the chemicals in the dough. It could be anything. So the IgA is those immediate response tests. They're not valuable. It's not a valuable test, because most of the time, if you have an immediate response to somebody, you know it straight away. You're like, yeah, I get it. I mean, I know I can't eat Swiss chard anymore. I used to love it. I used to grow it. But as soon as I eat it, my throat gets all scratchy. I can't eat it. I have an allergy to it. So I don't eat it. But I figured that out because when I eat it, I get this immediate response. Where the danger comes in is the delayed responses. So most food allergies and food sensitivities have a delayed response over 72 hours or so. So a lot of people won't connect the fact that they ate a food one day and 3 or 4 days later, or they eat it regularly in their diet, and they're like, well, how could ice cream cause me allergy, or cause me to have rosacea or migraine headaches or gut issues, or any, name it. I don't know, just pick something. So this is where we have to be really strategic. So going back to then, that's why when you come to me, when people say, oh, my hormones are out of whack, can you test my hormones? I will say, I can, but what's that going to tell us? Because I already know I can sit with you toe to toe. And a lot of times too is, these tests can be expensive. So if you want the information, that's awesome. And I love that if you have the funds and you want to do a baseline, that's great. But a lot of people, they're like, if I had to choose between treatment and testing, I'd rather take the treatment. Great. So let's start you there. So we can start treatment. I've been doing this for 27 years. I have a pretty good eye on where we should start, how we can get you going. And I can definitely move the needle. But there will come a time when, again, if it's something super chronic and you dealt with for years and your hormones are completely out of whack, that we're going to need to test. So we may need to get those hormone tests down the road. We may need to get a gut test down the road. We may need to get food sensitivity, food allergy testing down the road. In fact, I rarely do food sensitivity testing anymore because it's so far downstream. It's mostly gut issues dealing with fungal infections in the gut and mold. And so if we can, and what feeds those? Poor diet, poor environment, forever chemicals, exposures to poor, highly toxic body care products, candles, Glade plugins, pretty smelling things, laundry detergent. I mean, it, shampoo, conditioner, your soaps, your lotions, like all your environmental stuff has a massive impact on your health because it's going straight into your, it's getting absorbed into the bloodstream through your skin. So, so this is where start to think about what are the things that you need to be doing. Do you need to just start with hydration? Is it more water? Is it less, monster drinks or what? Are you somebody who drinks? I call them fashion waters because the fashion waters are, Propel and the Gatorades and, they look really good and they have a really great marketing campaign. So that's what you have to also start to ask yourself is how good is the marketing behind these? And they have money to burn when it comes to marketing a lot of these different drinks. The energy drink market is like massive. So, so if you could just do water, herbal tea, maybe a little bit of coffee, that would be helpful. Then we have to look at movement. And do you have movement throughout your day? Are you working on your mobility? Are you working on your strength? Are you somebody who's, really tapped into how strong your body is? Do you challenge that every day? There's a couple of moves in yoga that are really they're hard. And sometimes I'll be in class and I'll be like, I just don't feel like doing it. And then I tell myself, I'm like, don't stop doing it. Like you need to do the hard things. You need to keep doing the hard things because that's what challenges you and your body and your mental health. So, um, yeah, Kenny, 14,000 energy drinks at Kroger, along with 2,200 energy bar choices. And these energy bars are crazy too. Again, we think we can out energy bar a poor diet. Like you can't. And because it's called an energy drink and an energy bar, we have somehow equated that to good health. It doesn't work that way. And a lot of the protein powders, they're horrible. They have artificial sweeteners, flavors, colors in them. And those are my three rules is we got to eliminate all of that stuff. So um so before you go running to get hormone replacement therapy as a woman. Now, first of all, I will say that sometimes women are really struggling and oftentimes, and it's not 100% guarantee, but if you've lived your life healthy all the way up through perimenopause and menopause, the chances of you going through those phases and getting through them without too much disruption are pretty good. It's not a guarantee though, but we do see more correlation with people who have not taken care of their health, have had issues most of their lives, and then they get to menopause, perimenopause, and menopause. And even the men going through, phases later in life, we see their testosterone levels just tanking. It's 40% of men under 40 have erectile dysfunction. That is because of a testosterone deficiency. Well, what drives that? That's stress. That is poor diet. It is poor. It's the forever chemicals. We've got, if you're super stressed out, cortisol will actually lower your testosterone and and cause low libido and erectile dysfunction and all of that. Um, so there's so much that we have to pay attention to when it comes to our lifestyle. So you can't. So let's just say you're a man and you have low energy, you're not sleeping well, you've got a crappy diet, you're not thinking clearly, you have a foggy brain, and you go to the doctor and you say, I have all of these things, this cluster of symptoms going on. The doctor's immediately going to say, you need testosterone, and put you on testosterone without even helping you understand lifestyle. And the problem with that, and this is where the bias comes in, is that if a woman walks into her doctor and says, I'm exhausted, I have low libido, I'm not sleeping well, and has the same cluster of symptoms as the man, the doctors are more likely to put her on an antidepressant. What do you guys think of that? Like, isn't that, it's crazy to me. And so, yes, our hormones are playing a role, but we have to start looking at the lifestyle habits and patterns that we have that are driving those hormones. And so, what do we do to clean it up? And so again, if you're running to get those kinds of therapies without taking care of the other thing, then that's a problem. Now, if you're struggling, a lot of women will end up, and even the men, depression, anxiety, a lot of mood issues. And if you're just like, hey, I'm just feeling crazy and I need something, yeah, well, if you're in crisis and that's going to help save you from crisis, then by all means, like, go do it. But then you need to make that commitment to yourself. Okay, but now I got to go clean up the other stuff because you can't leave it hanging out there because it's not you now it's just a band-aid for you and it's not actually going to make you metabolically fit, which is what we want. We want optimization of your metabolic health so that you can be as healthy as possible going forward and you can actually improve your longevity, your lifespan, your health span. Kenny says 22,000, not 100, the whole damn aisle. So it is crazy. And you think about, again, the marketing behind it and how pretty the cans are. They really market to your visual, your visual field, right? They want to make it as pretty as possible. And food companies do that with, they do that with packaged foods as well. Like make it green and put like little leaves and little plants on it so people think it's healthy and then you flip it over. I got duped. I got duped just a few months ago and I bought a sleeve of salmon patties from Costco. I didn't think anything of it. I was like, oh, salmon patties, that'll be good. It was wild caught, Um, and I got them home and then I read the label when I got them home and I was like, oh my God, they were full of junk. I was like, how can you put all this garbage into a salmon patty? I mean, so then I was like, oh my God, you just need to like buy canned salmon and make your own salmon patties, which my mom used to do growing up. That was, one of the, oh my God, she made great salmon patties. But it's so again, like thinking of what are the highest calorically um or I'm sorry, nutritionally dense foods that we can start to eat, that we can fuel ourselves with, that then we can eliminate the toxins. And then you get through that phase, those phases, and you start to say, oh, okay, maybe I don't need hormone replacement. Maybe I do. So, so again, this is not to say you do or you don't need it. This is just to say you may or may not, but if you don't clean the other stuff up, you're just masking the actual symptoms. Um, so, and Kenny says, let's see, I'm serious. Most of the cereal I has energy bars, protein bars, granola bars. Yeah, so I have a friend of mine that would buy these energy bars from Trader Joe's, and they were sweetened with it's called allulose, which is a non-caloric sugar, much like stevia and monk fruit. So it's like it's in that family, not like the aspartame family. And she realized she was having a major reaction to the allulose. Like it was, and allulose, we've talked about this before on this show where I talk about the sugar alcohols, because again, we're trying to replace, just have to have a little bit of maple syrup or honey or something. Stop trying to replace the natural thing with something that isn't natural, that is just going to trick your brain anyway, and probably cause some, major disruption like she did. Like, once she figured it out, it was like she was like, oh my god, I've been eating these bars, I've been in pain. Like, she's having a severe abdominal pain, thinking it was something else because the bar was supposedly healthy. So Kenny says, Costco, been there once, places run amok with crazy people. You have to go on a day that it's not the weekend. Yeah, Trader Joe's is great. I mean, I love Trader Joe's. They've got, a lot of, Trader Joe's has a lot of healthy foods there. Prices are really great too. So, and the people there are so nice. Like, the culture at Trader Joe's is amazing. They, yeah, my brother's home. They, everybody's just super nice. So, yeah. But, so that's the long and short of it for today, is that we really have to start, stop trying to think that we're going to out medicate or out supplement our poor lifestyle choices. And I've worked with a lot of people who, they say, I've done everything. But when I start to ask questions about what they have done, they've hardly done anything. So this is really the education that says there's a lot of work to do, and there's a lot of work that can be done. And you just need to be working with the right person who can help you find the answers to get you there. And that's typically what I do. So um, not all functional medicine doctors are created equal, just to say that too. I don't know if you're the only person here, Kenny. Let me see. I'm showing 7 people watching. So people are leering. We've got, yeah, there we go. And oh yeah, I see you commented about being allergic to ice cream. I'm scrolling on the computer while I'm looking at that. So yeah, I think you got to make up for lost time because you haven't been here. So you have to be active there. Oh yeah, Dr. Jen's still here. So she's listening. So yeah. So one of the things too that, again, when people are coming in and they want to get tested, and then they'll, be like, oh, I can't, the testing's too expensive. Great. Let's just start with treatment, because anything that I do, that I give you, is still going to be helpful. Oh, Ken's still here too. Hi, Ken. It's still going to be helpful. We can take baby steps, but then, there's so many things that you need to be doing on your own that you can start to move the needle for yourself. Kenny, since when did you care about being a stalker? Of being feel like a stalker? uh, there we go. Yeah, so that was it. You guys have any questions on that? I just want to impress upon you that, think about, if you need help with something, then you just need to ask yourself, keep asking the question, why? Why do I have these symptoms? Why do I feel this way? Why, and then um, if there's a treatment, okay, why is that the best treatment? Should that be the best treatment? Um, but this is also, again, functional medicine is designed to really dive into the root cause, because especially when hormones start to go crazy, this is where we get thyroid issues going on. We can get irritable bowel. We can get all kinds of other hormonal issues happening. Again, sleep disruption, getting that 2 a.m. wake up call. I had a woman ask me in a talk that I did a couple of weeks ago, and she said she brought up the whole 2 a.m. wake up call, and she says, "Oh yeah, I'm, you know, she goes, that's just inevitable, right? That's inevitable for all women. I'm like, no, it is not inevitable. That is not, it's not normal. And no. And I said, that absolutely can be fixed. But this is where, yeah, there's just, and sometimes too, it's maybe you're having too much caffeine. Maybe you're drinking coffee. I always say, I tell people, I go, listen, no caffeine past noon. Like, let's just try that. Sometimes there's simple little fixes. Other times it's a complete overhaul for your gut health. So, but that's, everybody's very, very different. So, Kenny, what would you say? Well, let me go back to your comment there. I get here. Is that just offhand permission to stalk? Yeah, I mean, right? Like, Kenny, you're like my number one stalker. Hey, Laura, nice to see you in here. Appreciate you jumping in. And you're gonna want to go and back and watch the replay because we're just talking about when you know that something's going on, you definitely should be making sure you're checking all the boxes for, movement and food and hydration and sleep and start to look at and I do have a 7-day like a 7-day reset. So if you guys are interested in that, go ahead and hold on one second. I think I dropped it I do have my newsletter. There's a link to the newsletter. If you sign up for the newsletter, I'll send the 7-day reset for you, and it'll walk you through that. It's simple way. How can we take 7 days and just start looking at some of the simple things so that we can start to turn and start to reset. So if you want access to the 7-day challenge, just go ahead and hit the link in the show notes for the newsletter and I will get you that. I'll have that out in a couple of days for you. So yeah. And the reset is, let's see if I can pull it up here. And this is kind of why I'm like, oh my goodness. Stress, right? I'm like, I have to take a little bit of my own advice for stress and rebalancing. And let's see, I don't know where my 7-day, oh, I know where my 7-day, hopefully it'll allow me to pull it up here. Let's see, hopefully it's not too dark. Hey, Vinyl Audio, nice to see you, my friend. Coffee, hold on, let me read that from the computer. Let's see. Okay, Vinyl Audio says, Randy, coffee consumption impacts the gut microbiome more positive than negative. Oh, that's a question. I have just 1 cup in the morning. I know there's a lot of antioxidants in coffee. And then forgot to say good night. Hello from Trinidad and Tobago. I freaking love that, Randy. Love, love, love that you are making this channel international. And coffee is life. Yeah. And and Laura says it looks cozy where I'm at. Yes. So you came in late. I have no heat at my house. So I'm at my brother's and it's beautiful here. I was actually trying to, I'm on the phone. Since I'm on my phone, I don't know if you guys probably can't see it if I go to the window, but he's on a lake and it's really lovely here. It's very nice. So let's answer this question about coffee and the impact of the gut microbiome. It's a great question. And here's why is we talk about, so first of all, just from caffeine, some people are what we call good methylators, meaning they can clear the coffee, they can clear toxins really, really well, really quickly. I am not as fast at clearing caffeine. So if I have caffeine past like 12 noon, I know it will disrupt my sleep. My dad was the guy who could drink a cup of coffee and fall asleep. So some people are good methylators, some are not. That is a genetic issue. And I just didn't get that side of the genes. So, but caffeine can stay in your system for 8 to 10 hours. And when that happens, or sometimes up to 12 hours if you're a really poor methylator. So that can cause that sleep disruption. It can cause disruption to the adrenal glands, which is, we're trying to produce cortisol and we're, trying to have our energy. And so coffee, this is where I say, like, demonizing coffee. Yes, coffee has a lot of antioxidants in it. However, there's, just like anything, there's ways to choose your coffee. So if you were to, let's say you're like, I'm not going to drink coffee because it's too toxic. I'm going to drink Lipton tea. Lipton tea is super toxic, lots of chemicals, lots of molds. So we have to now start narrowing it down and saying, now coffee is very moldy. So what happens is they pick the beans and they go into a bin and then they sit there for a little bit. They're damp, and they get mold on them. And then they go in and they roast the mold onto, they roast the moldy beans. So the mold is getting roasted onto the beans. And the problem with that is that so many people have mold allergies, and that again creates inflammation. It creates damage to the gut microbiome. So yes, coffee can be detrimental to the gut because of the mold. So I always recommend that you look for sources of coffee that are mold free. So organic, shade grown, mold free. And I had I don't say inventor, president, creator um, of Life Boost Coffee. We did an interview with him. Oh, I think it was last year sometime. And so they had, their coffee checks all the boxes. So you do want to start looking for those kinds of sources. So yes, coffee can be amazing and have really great antioxidants and health properties. And then coffee can be really bad. So just like tea can be, just like any of these other, you take water and you put crap in it and you're gonna have crappy water. So I would definitely, look at what is your source of coffee, and then make sure that you're just not drinking it past 12 noon. So, let's see. Dr. Jen says, I should come and visit you. Well, where are you at, Jen? Are you in Florida? I was going to say the same thing, Jen, but she already called me number one stalker. Laura, if I can fall asleep after coffee, but I usually get bad dreams when I do that. Okay. Yeah, so that's interesting. So, and then again, paying attention to that, right? Which I'm sure you do. If you are saying that out loud, you probably are mindful that um, you're not drinking it late at night before you go to bed. And yeah, remembering your dreams, that's a thing too. And a lot of people also, just going for hormone comments on this, is that a lot of people will take melatonin before they go to bed, thinking that's their issue. But yet again, melatonin is your sleep hormone. But if you're super stressed out during the day and cortisol's been too high, and so cortisol will push down your melatonin, and melatonin can't come up so you can go to sleep. But if you've had caffeine, if you're super stressed out and you're like in front of all your bright lights and your screens and all of that, that's going to prevent melatonin from coming up. So then people go and they take melatonin thinking that's their problem. But yet again, upstream, it's all the other things that you have to really pay attention to to get your body to get into a state of rest. So so melatonin, so when people take melatonin and they don't need it, they can get like nightmares and really weird dreams from taking melatonin as well. Um, so Randy says, wow, thanks so much for that info. From now on, I'll buy beans and grind and brew it myself. Less probability of mold, I guess. Well, they still have to be, um, mold free. So companies will test their beans to make sure they're mold free. I haven't found I haven't found beans like that in the store. They're hard to find. Like, that is something that I would say order online, or like if there's somebody local who's roasting, you want to ask them, where do you get your beans from? Do you mold test your beans? And then of course the other thing is like buy a roaster, start roasting your own beans. I kind of started thinking about doing that. I'm like, maybe it's time I roast my own beans. So, um, let's see, 12 noon. That's not, oh, Kenny, you can do it. I promise you can do it. Hey, Urban Gardening, how are you? So the question is, if I buy whole beans, is there still mold? And only if they're certified not mold beans. So yeah, there's not a guarantee. Um, unless you're dealing with a company that actually tests their beans for mold. Um, so you can look online, or like I say, Life Boost Coffee. They have they do mold free. I know like the what's it, Dave Asprey, the Bulletproof guy. I think all of his coffee is mold free. So there's definitely some sources out there. Um, oh, thank you. Let there be light. You can leave that on. Um, and Jen says, I have a personal roaster all picked out. Oh, that's awesome. Good. Good. Are you going to get your own beans and then have somebody roast them for you, or what are you going to do there? Um, yeah, so urban gardening. So I buy whole beans. I've got an espresso machine, so I do buy the whole beans, and I do organic, shade grown, and there's something about the shade grown too. I can't remember all the. You have to go back and watch the interview with Charles Livingston from Life Boost Coffee. But yeah, shade grown, mold free, organic, and that's going to be your healthiest, and that's going to have your highest antioxidants in it as well. Um, and so Urban Gardening says, okay, I will add yeast and mold cleanse this year. Seems cleansing is the only guarantee. Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like, can you just cleanse regularly? Every day I do a detox shake, and then I have, lots of vegetables like the anything in the brassica family. So broccoli, cauliflower, kale, collard greens, like any of those are super high in antioxidants, but then they have what's called sulforaphane, that is a compound in those. And sulforaphane is excellent for cleaning up yeast and molds in the gut. So when you're talking about trying to get your, clean yeast and mold naturally, try to stick with the cruciferous vegetables. Those are going to be really helpful. And then of course, water, lots of water, no artificial sweeteners, flavors, or colors, and just, keeping it as clean as you possibly can. And so let me drop this in the chat. Let me see. This is my favorite detox, which again, I do a shake every day, and I've done it every day for 20 years because of the fact that, we're just so exposed to so much. And so, while yes, I do make sure that while I do make sure that I'm eating all of the proper foods for detoxification, it's a great way to get my protein, and it gets me that jump start for the day. I'm gonna drop here for you where is my shake? Here it is. Okay, let's see, let's go here, and I'll drop the link in. Now, if you haven't ordered from my online store, you'll get 20% off your first order. And then if you put anything on auto ship, you get 10% off going forward. So that's the link to what I do every day. And super high in protein. It's really nutrient dense, so I don't have to take a multivitamin. So that actually acts as my multivitamin. And then the probiotic that is listed on there is that actually helps to keep the tight junctions intact, because we all have some level of leaky gut. So if you can take something that is protective each and every day, that's going to do it, one a day, and that'll help. That will help quite a bit with any issues of chronic gut, chronic leaky gut, anything like that. Hormonal issues, and if you had any kind of hormonal issues as well, or any kind of chronic issues, that's where I would start you. I'd put you on that shake and start you on the probiotic as a way to start to heal you up and as a way to start to clean you up. And we can never go wrong starting with a little bit of detox. So it's a really great place to start. And and then then urban gardening, then if you, as far as the yeast and the mold, there could be like, there's another product that I use for to kill yeast, and it's called candibactin. Let me drop that in here for you. And what's really special about candibactin is it's high concentration aromatic essential oils. And I use it in conjunction with these detox powders because of the fact that when you start to kill bugs, you've got to support the liver to get the bugs out. So the powders that I sent in that previous link, those those are your detox powders, and then you could do the candibactin as a bug killer. So let's see here. Okay, and then that's the candibactin. And I've had some people, they're like, I'll just do a couple drops of oregano, and I'm like, it's not going to work. This is like super high concentrate. Laura says, do you sell Acumancia at your store? So Laura, that link right above your comment is it's called triple biotic, and it has Akkermansia. It's one of the strains in that particular probiotic. So yeah, it's a really, really great product. Randy says black seed oil and the gut microbiome. I sometimes have 1 teaspoon before bed. Does the thymoquinone positively impact the gut? It's useful for immune, respiratory, and cardiovascular. Black seed oil is amazing. I mean, they're using black seed oil for cancer. So it's one of those things that it's like, if you can take it, take it. Like, why not? Cancer or not, it's, these are some of these, some of these nutrients are just really, really powerful. So yeah, I think that's great. And Kenny says, wow, you got a room full of people who know what they're talking about, me being the exception. Well, you're just the token stalker, Kenny. That's okay. Sometimes you do. Bill says, I visited a coffee plantation in Guatemala a while back. After they removed and washed the pulp of the beans, they would dry the beans in the sun on large concrete slabs. That's cool, right? So then, and then they would turn them by hand every few hours. Maybe that helped to reduce the molds. I'll bet you it did. I'll bet you it did. So I wonder, like, were they shipping around the world, or, I wonder what they were doing with with those beans. And boy, how amazing was that? And then, would they roast them there, or did they send out the raw beans? I'm curious. Yeah, that would be cool to see a coffee plantation. Be fun to grow coffee, but yeah, I guess we're not in the right climate, I would guess. Let's see. You guys are amazing tonight. We've got, let's see. We've got 7, we got 9 people here. We got 2 from Facebook, and we got 7 from YouTube. So it's good to see so many people in here and so much engagement. And let's see, yeah, so anything you can do that is like high antioxidants, and again, like if you're taking some good quality supplements, just make sure that it follows through with your diet too, and it follows through with your your other lifestyle things, so that you're getting the most out of it, really. You don't want to take something, because like that black seed, that can be really expensive, and you don't want to take anything like that then is gonna you're like, well, I can go eat McDonald's now, right? So maybe not. Maybe not. I don't think, where did I see? Let me go back over here. I don't think we have black seed on the Metagenic site. No, no, we do not. I'm curious, wonder why we don't have that. So sometimes too, what happens with Metagenics is they want to make sure that they are that every product that they supply is they can do clinical trials with. And so they may not have been able to do that or find a reliable source. So yeah, McDonald's is gross. And no, not even if they used Miracle Whip, Kenny. No, it's a hard no, my friend. Jen, you're texting me, but I'm on the live on my phone, so I cannot leave the live to see your text messages. So I will get them when we sign off. Um, Randy says all disease begins in the gut. I'm so amazed about the tight junctions and the one cell thick barrier that separates the gut from the bloodstream. Isn't it amazing? So yeah, so Randy he's speaking my language there that it's a it's a gut issue until proven otherwise. And if you have any issues whatsoever, we have to look for the gut. That's why, going back to what we talked about initially, if you're like, my hormones are all over the place and I need hormone replacement, if you don't take care of the other things, then what? It's going to take a while. It's kind of like too, like when people go get thyroid medication and they don't take care of the other things that are further upstream, it takes a really long time to try to get the proper dosage for the thyroid before they feel good. And then that can even then alter and go out of kilter. So it's just critical that you pay attention to that. And yeah, the tight junctions, the barrier from the gut to the bloodstream, it's one cell thick, like it's crazy. So there's not a lot of room for error there. And when you start to think about it like that, you can really start to understand, like, oh, I better take care of my gut, like yeah, it's a gateway to either good health or bad health. Um, so yeah, thanks for that comment, and it's a great reminder. And Kenny says, "Is that true? They told me my disease started in my brain, and honestly, I believe them. It all begins, and then there's the gut-brain connection. So anytime there's so think about it like this: your gut is designed to keep foreign invaders out of your bloodstream. But when there's disruption in the gut microbiome and the tight junctions, those toxins, bacteria, and food particles can get into the bloodstream. They're seen as foreign invaders. And when that happens, the body will attack them. And then the body attacks anything that looks like them. So let's say, for example, we'll just say gluten, because that's a really common allergy or sensitivity, is that if you have a gluten intolerance, your thyroid looks like gluten. So your gut is leaking, little pieces of toast into your bloodstream, and your bloodstream's like, oh my, your body's like, we got to attack that. And so it forms an assault to try to get it out of the bloodstream. That creates inflammation. But then it's like, we have to attack anything else that looks like this. And your thyroid looks like gluten. So people who have thyroid issues, then when I say, well, you have a gluten intolerance, and they look at me and they're like, what? Yeah, get off the gluten. You will start to heal your thyroid, but you also have to do some work to heal the gut to make sure that you're not, because they're, continuing to eat toast and bread and bagels and all of that stuff. Um, so, so yeah, so any disease, I mean, cancers, all the things, it all starts in the gut, because that is where the disruption of the foreign invaders comes through. So we have to do the gut repair, gut healing. Um, Randy says 70% of the immune system's in the gut. That blows my mind. We always thought the immune system are white blood cells, macrophages, etc. Yeah, I mean, and we're more bug than anything. It's like how many trillions of bacteria are in our gut. It's more than us as humans. It's more than all of this. Like we're more bug than anything. So, so we have to take care of this incredible thing called our gut, and it's where our serotonin, which is our feel good hormones, it's where so much of our immune system is regulated. So we, if you're somebody who gets sick all the time, you have a gut problem. um so the Miracle Whip is where the lunacy comes from. Oh goodness, Kenny, my goodness. You're not giving up the Miracle. I'm still trying to figure out how to make my own mayonnaise. Yeah. So, um, Laura says, why don't doctors tell us these common sense things? They just quickly give us drugs. Well, again, this is their training. This is they they haven't been given the training that I've been given, but also my training went far beyond my education in school. My education, I've got three functional medicine certifications, and then I read books and I listen to podcasts and I connect with other people who are in that space so that I can continue to learn and I can continue to educate myself so I can continue to bring you guys these messages. So, the unfortunate part, Laura, is that medical doctors don't have time. They don't have time. It's a common problem for them. It's a common complaint by their patients that they're just a churn and burn. They don't have enough time to be in a room and talk to people. They don't have enough time to really, and a lot of medical doctors leave medicine and go into functional medicine so that they can sit toe to toe with their patients because they realize that that system is not helping anybody, and it's causing so much burnout, and it is not um it's not fulfilling for them. So they have to go off and find this information on their own. This is not taught in medical schools. It wasn't taught in chiropractic college. We did take some nutrition classes in chiropractic college, but and then I've got a background in nutrition from my undergrad. To quote a great band, they want to comfortably numb. There's a lot of money in it. They get a lot of kickback, but also they think they're doing the right thing. So I don't want to completely demonize everybody in medicine because this is what they were trained to do, and this is how they were told um, they're going to help people. And no one goes into medicine without the intention that they're going to help people. Like that's why we do this, but we have to be able to help people in the right way, and we know that pharmaceuticals are not it's not the answer anymore. It's there for crisis, it's not there for every day. Randy says, does the DNA of the bacteria in our gut in any way with our own DNA within our cells? Or do we just have exposure to the metabolites of the bacteria like butyrate? I don't understand. Um, does the DNA of the bacteria in our gut, interact in any way with our own DNA within our cells? Or do we have exposure to the metabolites of the bacteria like butyrate? We definitely have the butyrate's definitely there, but um, that is a vaguely familiar statement. I cannot confirm or deny. But it is an interesting question. So I think I will definitely look into that. It would seem to me that the DNA of the bacteria would interact with our own DNA, because it's kind of like I say, we're all bugs. So what's the communication factor? They have to communicate somehow. Um, and also, thank you for your questions. I do appreciate your questions and your interactions. And Kenny's here all week for sure. So, um, and yeah, so so yeah, there's a lot. There's just so much with the gut, and like I say, I've been talking about the gut a lot lately, with regards to just general health, lifestyle, longevity, hormones, because I don't think that we can't talk about it enough. Like it's one of those things where I could have like one episode where I'm like, yeah, we talked about the gut, and then uh and then I don't talk about it again. And I'm like, no, we can't. We gotta keep hammering this baby home. We have to heal the gut. if you have anything going on, it is a gut problem until proven otherwise. And if you're looking to work with somebody, we can definitely talk about what that would look like. Laura, thank you so much for jumping in. I appreciate you being here. And also with that, it is 7:03. I haven't eaten dinner. It's been kind of a crazy day. And I have to go start researching to see if I'm going to need a new furnace or not. Not fun. So it's one of those things. It's like, yeah, it's things you don't want to spend money on. But anyway, all right, you guys, thank you for staying with me through the craziness. I don't think it worked out too badly being on my phone here. So yeah, I think that worked out okay. And yeah, me too, Kenny. I hope not too. Let me go back to the comments here. So, all right, perfect. Yes. I need to go have dinner. So, I thank each and every one of you for being here. What a great live. I love I just love your interactions. Thank you so much, Randy. I appreciate your questions. Bring more next week. Thank you so much. And I will definitely read your text, Dr. Jen. But again, thank you guys so much for being here. I love when you interact and engage and ask really great questions. And Kenny, it's nice to see you back, my friend. We have all missed you here. So, all right, you guys, have a great week. There will be no reset Monday because that just blew up in my face. So unless I can somehow recycle something and put it up tomorrow, I don't think I'm going to put that stress on myself. So, and I hope you all understand. All right, I'll be back for reset Monday next week. Chiropractic is sexy on Thursday. Right back here for Sunday Night Live. All right, you guys, love you all so much. Talk to you soon. Bye.